One of the best ways to save money on travel without compromising your experience is using points and miles earned through travel credit cards to book flights and hotels for free. But in an industry controlled by financial institutions and clever marketers, it's hard to know which credit card offers are genuinely good and which ones should just be ignored. In this video, and as the final installment of our 3-part series on travel hacking for beginners, I'm going to break down 7 crucial things you need to consider before applying for a travel credit card. Hey guys, Nick here from Away Together. Throughout my travels, I've taken hundreds of flights, I've spent hundreds of nights in hotels, and a significant percentage of those have been absolutely free thanks to points and miles. In fact, my wife Allie and I once traveled full-time for 6 months, largely thanks to 1.7 million points and miles that we saved up. And we earned those points without taking a single flight. That's right, all of those points came from strategically signing up for the right travel rewards credit cards. In part 1 of this series, we discussed the basics of how to earn travel rewards. And though there are many ways to earn points, the most efficient way by far is through travel credit card sign-up bonuses. But there are so many offers out there. I mean, you can't even take a flight anymore without getting pitched a credit card. So how do you know which ones are good offers? Today, I'm going to teach you 7 essential things to consider before applying for a travel credit card. And make sure you stick around till the end, where I'm going to share 2 special hacks that I use to earn double the points. So the first thing we have to talk about is your credit score. Your credit score is crucial. There are certain travel rewards credit cards that simply won't be available to you if your credit score doesn't meet the issuer's requirements. Before you apply for any card, do some quick Googling about the minimum credit score they're looking for. There's a card out there for just about every credit score, but certain cards will only be granted to those with excellent credit. It's wise to check your credit score regularly so that you have some clarity about your credit standing. The tool that I use to check my credit score is creditkarma.com. It's completely free and you can check your score daily. There's no inquiry or hard pull or anything like that, and it's easy to create a free account and view scores from TransUnion and Equifax. Credit Karma also gives you some tips based on your situation to help you manage your credit better. Credit Karma is not a sponsor, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. It's just simply what I use to keep tabs on my credit score and this next thing I'll tell you about. A major factor before signing up for a travel rewards credit card is the number of cards that you've already opened and how recently you've opened them. Certain banks pay very close attention to this, and depending on your history, they may automatically deny you access to certain credit cards. For example, Chase Bank has this unwritten rule called the 524 rule, which means that if you've opened more than 5 credit cards in the past 24 months, you'll be automatically denied for Chase credit cards, no matter how good your score is. And Chase cards are some of the best cards in the points and miles world, and for that reason, in many cases, it's advisable that you start your points and miles journey with Chase cards. If you don't, because of the 524 rule, you could be seriously limiting your points earning potential. This leads us into consideration number 3, the type of points you'll earn with the credit card. As I mentioned in an earlier video, not all points are created equal. What that means is you could have 2 credit cards with what appear to be identical welcome offers. Card 1 offers 100,000 points, and so does card 2. Which one would you choose? My answer is, I need more info. If card 1 is 100,000 United miles, and card 2 is 100,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards, I'm choosing card 2 every single time. Why? Well, at the time of filming this video anyways, United miles are valued somewhere between 1.1 and 1.4 cents per piece. Chase Ultimate Rewards are valued at 2 cents per piece, and you can use them in way more places than you can United miles. In other words, the value of those offers shouldn't be seen as 100K versus 100K. It should be seen as $1,100 to $1,400 versus $2,000 that you can use towards travel. To value points currencies, I use a source like the Points Guy's Valuations, which are updated monthly. And there are plenty of other options out there too. The program and the card you choose could also depend on your individual travel goals. For example, if you have a specific trip in mind and you know the exact airline you want to fly, that could limit which card you choose. Maybe that airline's not a transfer partner of Chase or Amex or Capital One, any of these powerful card issuers, but the airline does have a co-branded credit card that allows you to earn that airline's miles. In that case, it could be smart to use that airline's co-branded credit card over a more valuable card that earns a more valuable points currency. There's no one right answer here. The point is do the math. The next consideration is the size and timing of the welcome bonus. You need to understand the value of the bonus, yes, but keep in mind these bonuses can also fluctuate seasonally and during promotional periods. For example, a few years ago, my wife Allie got the Amex Platinum with an elevated sign-up bonus that wasn't publicly marketed. We got a direct mail piece for 125,000 membership rewards, while the regularly marketed bonus was somewhere around 80,000 membership rewards. If you're trying to accumulate points and part of your strategy involves opening more than one card, the size and timing of the bonus could dictate the order in which you apply for these cards. Another factor to consider is the minimum spending requirement. Ask yourself if you can reach that minimum spend to actually unlock the bonus with your regular life purchases. Most cards that offer sign-up bonuses require some kind of minimum spend within the first few months of card opening in order to earn that bonus. For example, a common minimum spend is $4,000 in the first 3 months. For many people, this amount spread across 3 months is achievable if you put all of your personal spending on that credit card. However, if the minimum spend is too high, like $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, the average consumer might not be able to reach that without making a bunch of unnecessary purchases. Consider the welcome bonus and the minimum spending requirement are one-time considerations. So if you anticipate major life purchases, you might be able to meet a larger than average minimum spend if you can charge that purchase to a credit card. Major life expenses like a wedding, a home renovation, those can be opportunities to consider opening a new card. At least that's how I look at them. Unlike those one-time events, the annual fee of the card is a recurring expense. This fee is something you'll have to pay every year to continue receiving the benefits of the card. So when evaluating cards, consider what the card's annual fee is and whether the benefits and perks offered are enough to offset the annual fee. For example, many hotel credit cards out there come with an annual fee of somewhere in the $90 to $100 range. But they also tend to come with elevated status and at least one free night in that hotel chain per year. Now you need to do the math in terms of what's right for you, but typically that free night is more than enough value to justify the annual fee. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is another card with a substantial annual fee, $550, but it's regarded as one of the best travel rewards credit cards out there because the perks and benefits that it offers more than offset that annual fee. For example, there's a credit against the first $300 you spend on travel each year, which effectively reduces that annual fee by $300. And then it has all kinds of additional perks like access to over 1,300 airport lounges worldwide, complimentary Dash Pass and Lyft Pink membership, trip delay and primary rental car insurance, a statement credit against TSA PreCheck or global entry membership. A lot of things that, if you travel often enough, offset the annual fee if you use them. I personally carry this card, but if you don't travel often enough to get value out of all of those things, it may not be right for you. You may want to check out a card like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which has an annual fee of only $95. There's also no annual fee cards that come with far fewer perks, but they cost nothing to keep open. It's important to note if you open a card with an annual fee and later decide you don't want to keep paying it, do not just go close the card. That can hurt your credit score. Instead, consider downgrading the card to a $0 annual fee version. I've done this many times, and it's more common than you'd think. You just call the credit card company and ask if you can downgrade to another card. Okay, as promised, here are 2 clever ways for you to get way more points, and they're important considerations when you think about which card to sign up for. 2-player mode. When considering points and miles accumulation, remember to factor in the combined efforts of your household. For example, when I mentioned earlier that my wife and I earned 1.7 million points and miles, I mean my wife and we collectively earn those points. When we redeem these for flights and hotels, sometimes we're using points in my name, sometimes we're using points in her name. This approach, commonly referred to as 2-player mode, involves both partners working towards a shared goal. And you might be thinking, Nick, my significant other is not interested in stuff like this. I'll tell you, it's not unusual for one partner to be more interested in this than the other. I'll let you take a guess on who that is in our relationship. And just kind of managing it for the household the same way they might manage other financial things. I own this strategy for us, and because our household finances are combined, Allie trusts me with owning this. So sometimes we apply for cards in my name, sometimes we apply for cards in her name. And the beauty is, if you remember the 524 rule from earlier, well, now it's more like 1024, giving your household more chances to access great credit cards. Now, it's important to note, this is not the same as signing up for authorized user cards. If you're trying to accumulate a lot of points through sign-up bonuses, I advise against authorized user cards for your significant other because these count as credit inquiries and can impact your eligibility under rules like Chase's 524 rule. Another great way to earn more points faster is through business credit cards. Business credit cards can offer excellent bonuses and help slow down the number of inquiries on your personal credit. Now, I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but you may be thinking, Nick, I don't own a business. But if you have any kind of side hustle or really any income generating activity, there's actually a strong chance that you could qualify for a business credit card. Okay, if you're done with all this theory and you wanna get practical, I wanna give you a couple of ideas and resources and suggestions. If you came to me today and you wanted to get started with travel rewards credit cards and you said, Nick, which card should I get to help me travel for free? People come to me and ask me this question all the time. I'm gonna assume that you have a great credit score and that you haven't opened a bunch of cards recently. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'd first point you toward a card that would earn a transferable points currency, like Chase, Amex, Capital One, or Citi. If you're under the 524 rule, I'd tell you to consider Chase cards first because it's a good place to start. I'd probably mention the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which is my favorite travel credit card for travelers who don't travel a lot. It earns the most valuable points currency, it's got a low annual fee, I think it's just a great all-around card. But I'd also tell you to consider if you have a specific trip or goal in mind and what airlines fly to those destinations and what hotel chains are available there. And then I'd tell you to research the available offers at that time. Depending on your goals, depending on what's available, things can really vary. Everybody's situation is different. If you're interested in that kind of advice specific to your situation, I currently offer free credit card consultations. I may not forever, but at the time of filming this video, I do, and I'll link that below. There's also a tool out there called Card Match, which can help you figure out which credit cards you're pre-qualified for. There's no impact to your credit. It takes about 60 seconds. I'll link to that below as well. Finally, make sure you subscribe to this channel because in future videos, we'll be diving into specific credit cards and I'll reverse engineer trips that we book with points and miles, as well as all kinds of other travel tips and advice. Thank you so much for watching. Happy travels.